Hello once again, guys, and this is Don Chap, and you are currently viewing my channel. Well, one of my videos on my channel. From Gaming is Not a Crime. We're not playing any games today. This is a simple review of the new set, Aerther Revolt, that's coming out on the 21st of this month, January 2017. And in this particular video, we're going to be reviewing reds. Now, something that I immediately noticed from the Mythic Spoiler website, which I'm currently using to bring you this video, is that red is the only one that has an extra card in it. So as you can see, the others stop at this section. Red has one extra. So I'm not sure if that's going to be something that's going to be made up from these guys over here, the two colors. However, we'll get to them in the next two videos to come. I'm just going to go ahead and straight into it. I'm not going to lose any time. This is our mythic. And as I said, mythics are pretty good this time round. Lightning Runner for 5 mana with 2 specifically red. The Human Warrior creature, double strike and haste. Whenever this creature attacks, you get 2 energy, and you may pay how many energy is that? Whoa, I need to count this one. Okay, from my calculation, that's 8 energy. If you do, untap all creatures you control, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase, which is pretty good. And it gives you an extra combat phase. I mean, this is the bomb. I've never seen such a powerful card in my years of playing Magic, and I'm playing for the past 8 to 7 years, miserably. And this is pretty good, and simply because it's not when it deals damage like certain cards tell you to, or when it blocks. It's simply anytime you attack, it's going to give you energy. This is going to be a good card to match into the previous set of Kaladesh. Definitely something you want to go into, because you're going to be attacking, and once that phase is over, you get to pay all that 8 energy straight off the bat, untap everything, go into another attack phase. Pretty strong card, nasty. Again, mythics are going to be hard to find. I haven't seen too many mythics in this set yet. I might be mistaken, but so far there's one of each color for sure. You have the 2 planeswalkers, and not sure about the rest. So we're gonna need to look into how many mythics there are. We do know that they're the rares or something. So I can imagine like with like 5 boxes miserably, you'll be able to collect these quite easily. I mean, I managed to collect my PNLRs from Kaladesh with simply 3 boxes. So I can see these being collected quite frequently, no problem. And here is your legendary creature, in fact. This is the human pirate, Kari's Vet's Skyship Raider. When I saw this the first time, I wasn't so keen about it until my friend explained it to me. This is a 2 mana cost human pirate, legendary creature, which means you can only have one of them in the battlefield on either side. So basically, it's only one, whether it's on your side or your opponent's. If it's a new one comes out with the same name as this legendary creature, then you gotta have to sacrifice the previous one. It has first strike and menace for 1/3, so it's not too bad. However, whenever this creature attacks target, this automatically summons out its 2/1 red monkey creature named Regvan that's tapped and attacking as well. Exile that token at the end of the combat. Now, why is this good? It's something that I haven't actually seen until it was explained to me. It's simply because you see this monkey right here, this monkey right here. So as long as you're attacking with one creature for 2 mana, you're going to be attacking with 2 creatures. One for 1 damage with menace, and this one with a 2/1. And this comes in and out. So the minute you attack, it comes in attacking and then it comes out. So it's not going to be staying around for too long. It just want to go ahead and attack with its owner. It's a pretty good card. It's not the best legendary creature that I've seen throughout the set so far. However, it is very much teamed to red, so it's that kind of hasty um, feel to it. I think if you gave it haste, it would have just made things so much better, to be honest with you. But then again, I'm not gonna diss that. It's got first strike, so that 1 damage is definitely gonna either kill off a creature or it's gonna be doing much better um, than any other creature that I've seen so far. Kari Sven's expertise. So again, this is going to be based on the legend creature as we've seen. It's a sorcery at 3 mana, 2 specifically red. Gain control of target creature or vehicle until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. You may cast a card with convert mana cost 2 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So this, again, red is always red. It's like get in there, do the job, get out. It's got that feel to it, and we've seen this throughout the whole set so far. Each legend creature has their own sorcery with this new thing that you get to cast something for free almost at a specifically mana cost or less. So this is pretty good. I love this set simply because it's holding on to a team, and you're definitely gonna want to look into these. Okay, so we're gonna look into a common card, the first common card of the red set, Aether Chaser. This is 2 mana, one specifically red, human artificer, first strike. Whenever this enters the battlefield, you gain 2 energy. Whenever Aether attacks, you may pay 2 energy. If you do, you create a 1/1 servo artifact token. So as you've been seeing throughout the deck, if throughout the set, sorry, if you've seen my previous video, you're seeing a lot of these create these little tokens here and there. So in whichever color you're playing, you're definitely looking at servos coming out at some point. This is a good thing for when you're playing the when you're playing in drafts. You definitely want to have that extra creature to give you that blockage. However, I think at this point, it's becoming quite a theme for Aerther Revolt, where servos are running everywhere along the city. Is just chaos and mayhem at this point, simply to overthrow Tezzer's plans or whatever is going on there. Again, this is something that you want to get into simply because it's gonna help you out with the previous set, Kaladesh, where energy is involved, and it's gonna be giving you that one extra creature every single turn. Now, in this one, we're seeing a new mythic over here. I think is the first mythic that's and so I can now start to establish why there's an extra card in the red simply because there is another mythic along. So this is the sixth mythic that I know of. Indomitable Creativity, where it's 3 red with X sorcery. Destroy target artifacts and/or creatures. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals a card from the top of his library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and exiles that card. Those players put the exiled cards onto the battlefield and then shuffles their library. Um, how do I feel about this card? To be honest, I think the simple fact that it does not have I don't know, it's a bit too costly. It's a bit of a risk card. I think I would live without this being seen in my deck. Um, so I'm not sure how I do feel about it. I mean, you might want to consider getting out, like for example, all those 1/1 servos from your side, and all of a sudden bringing better creatures and artifacts onto the battlefield. So I can see that being played this way. Again, you do need a bit of support with that X cost because the 3 mana is a quite heavy cost to start with, and the X cost comes as follows. So yeah, I can see this. Thinking about it, how I might play it, I'll simply get rid of all those servos that I'm creating the 1/1 tokens and just putting in proper cards from my deck, because they come straight onto the battlefield. No problem. So I see where the mythic rarity comes into this. Um, I would never use this on my opponent, to be honest with you. I mean, it would be crazy. This is simply you use it, get rid of the small guys on your battlefield or the guys that have done the job, and put in something better. Hopefully, your deck would obviously put those cards far up when you shuffle. Again, it's a matter of luck. Believe in the heart of the cards. All right, so we're gonna go to the next card. We have Release the Gremlins. Oh man, this is something that I'm gonna love simply because for once we're not seeing any other token but gremlins, and gremlins are pretty cute. You have to admit it. Even for me, gremlins are pretty nasty as a race themselves. They just eat away at metal and all that in a matter of seconds. So let alone, you get to destroy an artifact if you just pay 3 mana, right? So it's two of any color, one specifically red, and you create these two red gremlin tokens. So this is pretty much like the Black Liliana, Dark Salvation that I'm seeing here happening in red. However, instead of zombies, you're going to be putting in these gremlins. However, this is even more powerful simply because Dark Salvation gave a -X to a target creature. This one you're destroying specifically X amount of artifacts that you might be controlling. For example, the servos, you want to get rid of them, get in from 1/1s, you want to have 2/2s. Um, or you want to get something rid of from your opponent's thing. This is pretty good, especially if you're going to be seeing from Kaladash's side the Hulk artifacts. You want to get rid of those or any other vehicles that might be running around for you. And in fact, we have a saying from P and Lenar: being an inventor means knowing how to use the tools at hand to make something great or bring it down. You can see where Chandra gets that like twist in her personality. Now, this is how can I feel about this? Okay, let's just go ahead and read that. That's free gem regent, 6 mana. It's a dragon. It's the second dragon that I've seen so far in relation to the Kaladesh story. The first dragon was pretty much OP for when it came to drafts. So you're really lucky if you got them. The minute it came into standard play, it didn't really see that much play, to be honest. The only problem with this is that it has improvise, so the minute you can reduce its cost straight down with those 1/1 servo tokens, as I've been saying, and this is something that I wish I've seen in a previous card actually, and I need to make notes about this. And it's a flying 4/4. Now the thing is this: you get to actually, it's pretty similar to the previous dragon because you get to boost it up, right? And simply for 2 mana, one specifically red gets this boost of a +2, +0 until the end of turn. So this creature can easily um, be boosted up straight off the bat, especially if like you're using servos and artifacts to kind of replace the cost with the improvise new mechanic. And just leave all the mana simply to boost this creature up and just go ahead and swing as much damage as possible. I mean, simply with 2/4, what is it? Let's have a quick look. So simply, if you have late game saying, um, so that's 6, 12. So if you have enough, if you've spilled over lands at some point and you have 12 lands, you don't eat in one go, and this is really ridiculously speaking, you can go ahead and kill off your opponent if you can't block flyers. So yeah, this is a pretty good card overall. I do like it. Definitely seeing it play. Pia's revolution. So Pia, we see that Pia has escaped and lived, and Pia's passion was direct to the big picture at making real, lasting change. And I do agree that Kaladesh needed that, especially when we've seen the story from Origins, how badly, like closed-minded these people were. Then again, each planes to their own. Let's go ahead straight to the card. We have an enchantment here for 3 mana with one specifically red. Whenever a non-token artifact is put onto into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to your hand unless target opponent has PNR Revolution. Deal 3 damage to him or her. Okay, so we're looking at how can I say? First and foremost, I don't know why they bother putting in the text non-token artifact into your graveyard. First and foremost, token. I don't believe tokens go into your graveyard. They simply just non-exist anymore. Then again, I think they just wanted to play it safe there, and they're specifying towards artifacts. So whenever an artifact goes into graveyard, return that card to your hand unless your target opponent has the same card as you do, the same enchantment. Um, then you get to do 3 damage instead. Yeah, I think I'm understanding. So let me just go over this really quickly. So whenever an artifact hits your graveyard from the battlefield, you get that card back. Unless target opponent has the same enchantment as this one. Then deal 3 damage to him or her. So I think I got the concept right. So if your opponent happens to be playing very similar deck to you, I do see a problem here simply because it's not going to be returning the artifact back because this thing is going to just trigger 3 damage onto your opponent instead. So it's a win-win situation, really and truly. I mean, quite honestly, having your artifact not being able to be removed completely, okay, it's going to be slowing you down, It's really good. Really, really good. So I do see this coming in standard play definitely. Okay, we have Quicksmith Rebel. Because I was taking too long on that card specifically, just so I can understand. It's Quicksmith Rebel for 4 mana, creature human artificer. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield, target artifact you control gains tap. Deal 2 damage to target creature or player for as long as you control this creature. It's a 3/2. So we've seen something similar in blue, where basically you get to target one artifact and they get to draw you a card. However, this one's going to be dealing you damage. You get to see burn coming back again. I love how the flavors of the old ways of the color, so to speak, is coming back to life in these sets. Blue in control and this one in burn specifically. So yes, I do agree with this card. Not sure if it should have hit the rarity again, same as the blue card in the blue video. Then again, I mean, it's that target artifact. The minute that artifact goes away, you can't target a new one unless you bounce this back to your hand and back down on the battlefield. So this is something that you want to reconsider simply every time you're going to play something like this. Okay, so Scrapper Champion. So we have a 4 mana creature, a 2/2 human artificer to be specific. It has double strike and it's an uncommon guy. So this is pretty good, as we're saying. So whenever this enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Again, there's the energy going on here and the energy theme. Whenever this creature attacks, you may then pay 2 energy. And if you do, you get to put a +1/+1 counter. So this creature is pretty good. Now, this is the thing. Now, I would have downgraded the previous card to an uncommon and upgraded this to a rare because this is a pretty good card. Not sure if everyone agrees with me, but then again, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, and again, this is something that you do want to see if you're playing in your draft. Even with the energy theme going on from previous deck, you can build a quite solid strategy with your energy theme, you know? So going on to an instant here, Invoking Rampage, 2 mana, one specifically red and instant, and you get to choose one of the two. So target creature gets a +4/+0 and gains trample until the end of turn, or else 2 target creatures gain +2/+0 and gain trample until the end of turn. So what you're going to be doing is this. It's very simple. You're going to either focus on one creature and making it as buff as possible to get that damage through with the trample. Alternatively, you can separate it for 2 different creatures. So you're splitting the 4 divided by 2, that's 2 each. And still having trample. So it's a pretty good card. It's a decent card. I do see this in the green red deck. No questions asked. However, with the double strike from the previous card that we've seen, this is going to be massive. I mean, that combo alone is going to be massive simply because you're going to be doing miserably. Um, if trample goes through from double strike, you're going to be seeing what 6 damage goes through. Actually, doing my calculations right, that's 6 damage. If it is not blocked, which is even worse, your opponent's going to be seeing 12 damage straight off at turn 3, turn 4. So you have the upper hand here with red. And then we have Reckless Racer. So here we are with a human pilot at 2/3 for 3 mana. First strike, which is pretty good. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, then you get to draw a card. So this is a hand fixer for you. You have that option. Do you want to? Do you not want to? At a uncommon rarity. Red is pretty strong, man. Red has come out as like, listen, I'm causing vengeance. Because I mean, red. Let's put it this way: red magic, pyromancy, and such in Kaladesh was pretty much forbidden. So you're gonna see red come out so harsh in this deck, in this set. Sorry, that I do see this coming out pretty good. The thing is this, unlike the previous set where it had a big deal with crewing vehicles, and if you crew a vehicle, something happens. I'm not seeing any of these happening anymore, and we do have vehicles in this set, so I'm kind of worried where we're going with this. Is something crewing a one-time thing? Are we not going to see it anymore? I'm not sure how we're going to feel about this. Simply because crewing was such a good mechanic. It was something new to Magic, you know? Anyway, so we're gonna go for the gremlin infestation. So as I said, gremlins are wicked simply because they eat metal and suck up on energy like anybody's business in a matter of a few minutes. Anyways, avoiding all that, we're looking at a 4 mana here with one red specific, and it's an enchantment aura. You enchant specifically an artifact at the beginning of your end step. Uh, this enchantment deals 2 damage to each artifact's controller whenever when uh when enchanted artifact is put in the graveyard. You then create a 2/2 red gremlin token. It's a very much a win-win situation, despite its 4 mana, which is quite costly to say the least. It's it's pretty good. You're dealing 2 damage every single turn until your opponent decides to get rid of that artifact. So you don't want to aim it at a creature artifact at all. You want to aim it at something that gives them mana, something that he has to feel the pain to get rid of, simply because it's causing him 2 damage every turn, and he knows that the minute he's going to get rid of that, he's going to be creating you a 2/2 red gremlin. So it's a win-win situation at any point for you. Just make sure you play this properly. That's the thing, though. So we have a ranged giant here. This is the first giant of my of this set, at least from what I've seen. It has improvise, so we have finally seen improvise once again in red. It's rarely used, unlike the other colors that we've seen. And ranged giant comes in with 6 mana, and it has trample and haste for a 4/4. Again, this is one of those things. Is I'm surprised it's actually an uncommon. These things were being played at common rarity in the last 3 colors, sorry. So we're looking whites, blue, and black. Had these at simply common rarity, I believe. Again, if memory doesn't mistake me. So I think it's simply uncommon, simply because it comes in with haste and trample. I think that's the simple reason why we're looking at that kind of rarity. And again, 6 mana with improvise. Improvise is something that I'm loving throughout the whole set. Definitely going to be using it myself, and I'm going to find a way and means to get that advantage. Moving on to the next one, Revenus Intruder, where we have a gremlin creature. How beautiful is that? Look how cute he is. Anyways, going in for 2 mana, it's an uncommon, and you get to sacrifice an artifact, and this creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. So we're looking at a very quick play here, guys, where we definitely are going to be seeing a buffing up thing happening immediately, especially if you manage to put in those artifacts, the 1/1 servos, and all that stuff. This creature can easily be mistaken for a 1. I can take a 1. Yeah, sure, okay, bam, 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 sack, and it's done. In that one mistake can cost your opponent the whole game. Then again, it's definitely something I'm gonna be looking forward to playing if I find it in a draft. Not sure if I'll find a place for it in standard to be played so competitively. There's better cards than this, to be frank, at this point. However, it's not something to be dismissed. Looking at this card instant, Hungry Flames, and this is when I say Burn has returned, where we have Hungry Flames deals 3 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player. It's not only that you'll be destroying a creature, but you're gonna hurt your opponent while doing it. I love that. Burn has come back, guys, and I'm so happy that Burn has come back. Moving on to a siege modification for 3 mana, 2 specifically red, is an enchantment aura. You get to enchant a creature or a vehicle. As long as the enchanted permanent is a vehicle, it's a creature. It's a creature in addition to other its type. Enchanted creature gets a +3/+0 and has first strike. So this is something that I kind of mentioned earlier during this video. I think just a few minutes back, to be honest, where we're not seeing much things happening with crew, and it seems that they've managed to automate their vehicles to be able to act as creatures. So this is something you want for in your deck if you're playing competitively with vehicles, simply because you're gonna avoid crewing that one creature, so you'd be having less to defend with, so to speak, and definitely gonna get a lot through with most of the artifact vehicles that have come out already in the previous set, let alone in this new set. And once again, over here we have one without text, but we can definitely read it off the card at least. It's clear text over here. We have Wrangle, which is a sorcery for 2 mana, 1 specifically red. Gain control of target creature with power 4 or less at the end of turn. Untap that creature and gain haste. I love this simply because I was so fed up of seeing Act of Treason. Simply because it's 3 mana, I mean, that 1 mana, okay, you gain control of target creature. Okay, it's not that specific as this one, it's 4 or less. But again, I prefer this, to be frank. Okay, you're not going to be taking control of any big creatures. Um, However, it's still a good card for especially for common rarity. Okay, so we're doing countdown for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last 8 cards of the reds. We have Precise Strike for 1. Red mana specifically, instant speed with target creature gets a +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Something that you do need in a green deck, especially. Don't see this being played too often though, so they just put it in simply so it gives us the feel of red again, you know. So it's pretty okay. Nothing that I'm gonna be seeing played too often. And then we have this is the creature that you don't want. This is the creature I'm gonna be putting aside completely for 5 mana. Latnu Sailback, 5 mana, 5/4. It's just a useless creature. They just put it. I would have taken this out and keep everything even, to be honest, and keep all of the colors at the same amounts of publication, so to speak. And the amount of printout is what I'm trying to find actually as a word. So this is something that the minute you open it, you're gonna say, "Ah, no, bye." You know, unless you're gonna be playing draft and you need that big creature eventually, and you're playing green with the +1 tokens if you're lucky. That's give you mana and all that stuff. But again, I don't see this coming into play whatsoever. Even with that artifact that you'll see in the artifact video, that it gives improvise towards everything in your hands. I think permanent specifically or creature specifically. We'll get to that once we get into that video. But again, this is something the minute you open it in your booster, it's like, okay, there we go, it's in your collection. In Magic, you're definitely gonna have that one useless card for sure. So I'm not really happy with those cards to be honest, but you gotta make do, I guess. So Frontline Rebel. So this is a human warrior with 3 mana, 1 specifically red. Frontline Rebel attacks each turn, each combat if able. So it's a 3/3, and you have the constant combat, 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 combat. He's constantly attacking, so you can't really make a decision. At the same time, as a 3/3, your opponent's gonna find it frustrating that he has to get it out of the way, or he has to sacrifice a creature in order to. So it's pretty straightforward. This is gonna be an attacker every single turn. Deal with it, you know, kind of thing. And then over here we have Umbral Gear Smasher. So we have 3 mana. This is going to be probably, yes, I figured as much without even looking at the text, to be honest. As a creature human warrior for 3 mana, 1 specifically red. You get to tap, sacrifice an artifact, and this deals 2 damage to each opponent. So, again, burn is felt nicely here for a 2/3 with 3 mana. I would have this, no questions asked, into either competitive play and also draft. No problems there. This is pretty good, especially if you're gonna have one of those kind of like I create a servo every single, you know, turn or so. Destructive Tempering. We have over here a sorcery speed for 3 mana, 1 specifically red. You get to choose one. You either destroy a target artifact or creatures without flying cannot block this turn. So you're definitely looking at a very good card. We've seen a couple of these in red in the past. Again, this is actually with a reduced cost, to be honest with you, because usually they used to be at least 4 mana to cast. If my again, once my memory serves me correct, I think this is going to actually help out here. Yes, it actually is 4 mana back in the M12 set, so my memory does serve me correctly that I've seen these before. Destroy target land creature without flying cannot block this turn. So seeing that it's 3 mana in common, I think it's an improvement, especially since Magic has become so fast paced. And finally, we're looking at a nice, nice, uh, illustration there of Chandra by Clint over here, uh, where it's a sorcery for 4 mana, one specifically red. Chandra's Revolution deals 4 damage to target creature. Tap target land. That land does not untap during its controller's untap step. So it's a kind of a bomb slash you're hindering your opponent at one land. It's no big deal simply because it's 4 mana. Um, yeah, I mean, you're looking to play this simply if you're I barely see. I mean, if you can avoid this card at any cost, I would. Drafts is more likely to be seeing its play, simply for the bomb of 4 damage, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the tap target land is not so much a big deal. Um, it might save you against the blue decks, so to speak, that control where they need land power. But then again, with improvise, you're looking at something that it doesn't even matter at this point. I don't even know why they decided to put that there. And over here we have Sweatworks Brawler, Human Artificer with Improvise. So for 4 mana, one specifically red, 3/3 with Menace. Again, red is becoming is a brutal color, and I'm gonna definitely be seeing people play either, you know, harsh with red, or we're gonna be seeing a lot of massive control from the blue, and alternatively, we're gonna be seeing a lot of self-control, so to speak. So you're controlling your own side. Not really familiar with the technical terms about this. However, this is definitely gonna be seeing play in standard for sure. And finally, we have come to our proper burn. The minute we've seen this card come out, people were roaring and people were praising Wizards for bringing this back. Shock. Finally, we get to do some damage to target creature or target player. And this is just for 1 mana, not even 2. So we haven't seen Shock for a very long time. And I love it. The artwork done over here. So it's pretty good. The tools of invention become the weapons of revolution, and well said for it to come back. It feels like an old friend, which I definitely will cherish this card for coming back into the standard rotation. We missed the burn, and we missed this card specifically because it is something that red players vowed to have constantly in their set. It was overprinted back in the day, true that. I'm not gonna dismiss it at all, especially um, during the sets that came out every between blocks. So yeah, this is definitely something that I am so happy about that I'm seeing back. And that's, my friends, is the red deck for Aether Revolt. And next video is going to be about greens. Look out for the previous three videos, white, blue, and black sets. If you want to have a look into them, look into your favorite color, or if you're going to go through the whole thing. Again, I don't do this professionally. As you can well tell, I just go through them, give my opinion how I would play them, where I see them being played. I know I do say a lot that it's going to be played in either a standard deck or in a draft. However, I mean, I don't really play Legacy and Modern as that much. These cards definitely have a place in those sets for sure. Commander, I see it's being done quite easily, slipping in a card or two. And in fact, you're going to be, for me specifically, since I play a green-black commander, I'm definitely going to be putting in my elves in there. I'm a big elf lover. Anyways, don't forget, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like my Facebook page, which is uh, Gaming is Not a Crime dash Donchap. Look me out, and keep watching. Thanks so much for your support, guys. You mean, this means a lot to me.